Our visit is marking going around all the provinces to appreciate provincial economic development strategies which are being done by the offices of the Ministers of State. Obviously, Blanket Mine is one of the emerging economic powerhouses in the country, and we can see that there's a long history from 1904 when this mine was started and up to date. So as the government of Zimbabwe, looking at presidential affairs and devolution, and also the President Cabinet, we are really mandated to try and ensure that we increase dialogue between the offices of the Ministers of State and captains of industry in the provinces. So as it is, Caledonia Mining Corporation is already forecasted immense growth year on year over the next 5-year period. So as we go towards 2030, it is also important for the provincial economic development plans to also support the economic activities happening in their provinces. So as we came here, we saw that the road infrastructure is not very good, and for something like, for a company like Caledonia Blanket Mine, which is really contributing to the national GDP, these are some of the priorities in infrastructure development plans that the province has to take on board. But I must say that I'm very, very impressed with how they've segmented in terms of their community development initiatives. They've built schools, they've built science labs, they've built 500 homes, 500 houses over the last 3 years. I think that is the greatest number of houses, corporate responsibility initiatives in the country right now. And so we also came just to get an appreciation. But government is going to be paying closer attention to community share ownership schemes to ensure first and foremost that companies are adhering and supporting those initiatives and ensure that the community is benefiting. I have to say that Chief Matema and his team are doing a tremendous job within this area, and all the other chiefs as well who are contributing towards the community share ownership scheme. What is happening in Matibela South, and we think it is a good benchmark for all the other provinces which are endowed with gold to find institutional investors like Caledonia and be able to build such infrastructure. And what we're seeing today is the latest technology of water harvesting that they've brought in place. They're running on their own 12 megawatt solar plant, big investment, almost $250 million in the last 4 years has gone into Matibela South, in particular this mine. So it is something that the Office of the President Cabinet, we had to just come and see and appreciate the glorious work that they are doing. As it is in line with devolution, all the provinces are now having provincial economic development plans. And year on year, provinces are now going to be expected to project economic growth within as a province, not as the nation, but as a province. Then collectively as a nation, we can use that information to also project where the country is going to. So with provincial economic development plans, it is also important for it not to be a government cast document, but it's something which has got all stakeholders. So today we're trying to assess the Matibela South Provincial Economic Development Plan and the strategies of one of their economic powerhouses, Blanket Mine. Where do they meet and where do they synchronize? And quite fairly, I think I'm quite impressed that they're working together, but we now want to see that 1,600 metric tons of gold which is being produced year on year start to increase. But we also want to see government investments in social infrastructure starting to support such initiatives, so that at least within the next 5 years, we're still not stuck on the same level